Since the dawn of mankind, war has been around us. War never changes. At first, humans discover fire. They learn how to kill each other. Then they discover nuclear, enabling them to destroy like never before.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Professor.
Who are you and what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm a new transfer student from Cambridge.
Interesting. Shall we move on? Okay, class, today we are going to learn a bit more on theoretical physics. I'm going to be explaining to you on nuclear.
Hey teacher, I ask you a question.
Oh, shut up, Yvonne. I don't want to hear any of your stupid questions. Okay. Where were we? Oh, I forgot my whiteboard marker. Never mind. I can do without. Well, since I don't have a whiteboard marker, I just have to improvise. Okay, shall we begin? Well, unlike the two geniuses here, who are clearly not interested in my lesson, I shall begin to you a talk on nuclear power. Now, do you know that nuclear power is actually the use of sustained nuclear fission to generate heat and electricity? Shut up, Yvonne. The pursuit of nuclear energy for electricity, Yvonne, began soon after this discovery in the early 20th century of radioactive elements, such as radium, which actually release immense amounts of energy, according to the principle of mass energy equivalence. Thank God for Albert Einstein. At first, the idea of nuclear energy is not feasible. However, this situation changed in the late 1990s.
What?
Are you sure? Nuclear energy has been around since World War II.
Of course. What I meant is 1930s, yes. Anyway, nuclear fission refers to either a nuclear reaction in which the nucleus of an atom splits into smaller parts, often producing neutrons and photons and releasing a very large amount of energy, including radioactive energy. Now, the first man-made reactor was called the Chicago Pile 1. It was built on December 2 of 1942. It was used for the Manhattan Project, which was actually the project that was developed for the nuclear bomb that was used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So you might think that nuclear is actually all bad. But you know that after World War II, the usage of radioactive energy for good was being researched. Humankind soon mastered the way to use nuclear energy. And today, nuclear power plants provide about 6% of the world's energy and 13 to 14% of the world's electricity, with US, France, and Japan together accounting 50% of nuclear generated energy in the whole world. Now, uranium, the fuel of nuclear, is also cheap, easy to find, and they are highly recyclable. Do you think that nuclear power is the solution to the future? No!
I know.
Shut up, Yvonne.
Let me say.
Fine.
There are many dangers associated with nuclear power, such as radiation, environmental pollution, and misuse of nuclear power as nuclear weapons.
Studies in the Ukraine and Russia were based on national registers of over 1 million people possibly affected by radiation. By the year 2000, about 4,000 cases of thyroid cancer had been diagnosed in exposed children. The radiation was so intense that even until now, its effects could be felt. Children in Chernobyl are born with birth defects, oversized heads, extra limbs,
It's so
deformed
cool.
bodies. Its effects are so disastrous that it could be inhumane for you to say that nuclear energy is actually good for us.
Wow, smart eh!
Thank you, thank you.
But I think nuclear power has like more advantages than disadvantages. Like for example, nuclear power plants require very little fuel compared to burning of coal.
Oh yes, that's of course correct. Yes.
Yes, like and it's more environmentally friendly. Like for example, lesser greenhouse gases will be emitted.
Yes, Janisa, my smart student. Yes. Please go on, Janisa. This is very interesting.
With nuclear power, there will be lower carbon dioxide and methane being released into the atmosphere. So in this power generation, obviously nuclear power is much better. Hence, drastic climate changes, depletion of ozone layer, and global warming can be prevented, and its effects could even be reversed.
No, but according to my iPhone, the process of creating nuclear energy entails environmental hazards. The mining of uranium as well as its refining and enrichment and the production of plutonium produce radioactive isotopes that contaminate the surrounding area, including the groundwater, air, land, plants and equipment. As a result, humans and the entire ecosystem are adversely and profoundly affected.
Teacher, my house catch fire. I need to go home now. Sorry.
Really? Oh,
Bye bye.
careful.
Singapore, Mr. Lee Hsien Loong said we might be going into nuclear power. So I think it's a good thing, right? As in it provides electrical energy for us. Right?
Well, in a forum recently, when he called for questions from the floor, Mr. Lee was asked if it would happen during his time in office, and he replied, I would say possibly during my lifetime. He said, it is very difficult to put a nuclear power plant very far from population because nobody in Singapore is far from population. Yet, he cannot afford to dismiss the option of nuclear energy altogether.
As a teacher, I'm so proud of all of you guys. Actually researching on a lot of things before going to my class. I'm very, very proud. So, how do you guys feel about this nuclear?
I think that nuclear power may have its disadvantages and advantages, but in order to prevent further damage to the earth, we have to resort to using it. So as long as we are careful, we can prevent mishaps from occurring.
So you are for this?
Yes.
Very well. Edmund?
Well, we have to be lucky all the time for the nuclear power plant to not experience a meltdown, but it only takes that single mistake for calamity to befall. As Japan has known, it is virtually impossible to zero out errors in the maintenance of the power plant.
You are against this, Edmund. Indeed. Even though nuclear brings us a lot of great things, it does comes with a lot of risk.
Yes, I agree with Edmund. And to add on, I don't think the risk involved is worth it. There are a lot more better alternatives such as wind, solar, and geothermal energies. And I think in the long run, the maintenance is costly because we have to ensure that the uranium is deposited safely so that it will not harm us and the environment.
Oh, well, I can conclude that all of us learned a lot today. Yes? It's been a pleasant teaching you all, but I'm running out of time and I need to rush. So, thank you class for your attention, and remember, the next lesson is on general paper. The physics behind general paper and why it is so difficult. Today we are going to learn a bit more on theoretical physics. Sorry.